they will not go for any of those kinds of outreach programs as such. Interestingly enough, we are also trying to understand as to whether the peace committee that was initially formed will in fact kickstart, but it seems to be a complete non-starter, with all of them having a lot of reservations on it. Well, this is the story that I would in fact take up. Rahul to visit relief camps, meet with civil society in Manipur. The Hindu has in fact taken up that story, and what it says is that former Congress chief Rahul Gandhi will be visiting violence-torn Manipur on June 29th and 30th. The Congress announced on Tuesday, and that this was tweeted by KC Venugopal in his particular tweet that he had posted yesterday, and he said that the visit will be to also interact with the civil society representatives in Imphal and Chuchandpur district as well. Now, Manipur has been burning for nearly 2 months and desperately needs a healing touch to that society can move from conflict to peace, is what is being said. So Rahul Gandhi there planning to have a visit to Manipur, and we are in fact also tracking that story on 29th and 30th, as he in fact even meets the inmates of the relief camps in Manipur. Well, the Congress has been questioning Prime Minister Narendra Modi's silence on the violence in Manipur on June 24th, when Home Minister Amit Shah had convened a meeting of all parties in Delhi. Gandhi had tweeted questioning the government's seriousness on the issue. Now, there's also the question of politics that has come in regard to this, and interestingly enough, an all-party meeting that was called by the Prime Minister is not in the country. It is clear this meeting is not important for the Prime Minister, is what Gandhi had tweeted that day. So it's an interesting article that's coming in on Rahul Gandhi's visit to Manipur, and it is a big meeting as well, and a big development. The question being asked is that why, when the violence was in fact being raging from May 3rd onwards, no kind of an effort was in fact being carried out when it comes to this. Okay. And one of the things that we have come to also highlight when it comes to Manipur, especially on this, is that there were issues that were in fact reported by the army as well. The army had in fact said that there are issues when it comes to the handling of the situation in Manipur, especially with a large number of women's group who are in the process trying to release militants and also acting as human shields for the rioters as well. So this is a big challenge that the army has been facing in Manipur. But then within this cauldron, we have also politics at play. The question over here being asked also is that, well, the opposition leaders could have made it earlier to Manipur as well to gauge the ground situation. The violence started from May 3rd onwards. Mind you, it started from May 3rd onwards. And today we are talking about June 28th, and since June till June 28th, we have only Amit Shah, the Home Minister, in fact visiting the region for 4 days and trying to broker peace. But it looks like things are not heading in the right manner, because no matter how much of efforts he's done, a lot of issues have cropped up. He tried to announce a 51 panel peace committee, but in there also there were people who were not being consulted, is what many of them who were nominated to that panel were saying. But peace was a non-starter in the beginning itself. Meanwhile, a lot of reservation is there when it comes to the issue of Biren Singh being part of this, and that has also been one of the issues that has been highlighted over here. Anyway, I was talking about the second story about Manipur, and as after Rahul Gandhi's visit the story on the Rahul Gandhi's visit to the camps in Manipur. Interestingly enough, I think you should also take a look at this page where there's a story of Manipur governor meets Amit Shah, and in the big headlines that we see over here, we can see what it is written in this manner also. It is being said that Manipur governor meets Amit Shah, kuki groups rejects CM's outreach. Now, this is the big question that's been asked over here, is that if there is no possibility of some kind of a trust that can be built when it comes to the issue about getting both of them onto the table, it is going to become very difficult. So this is a big story coming in from Manipur, where Manipur governor meets Amit Shah, and you have the kuki groups reject CM's outreach, and besides this, you have Rahul to visit the relief camp, meet with the civil society members. Let me read out some excerpts of that particular story as well. And in fact, we will get more insights into it. Manipur Governor Anusuya Uke met Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Tuesday and informed him that after his visit to the state, peace and normalcy has been restored to a certain extent. So the governor, in fact, saying that there is some kind of an impact with the Home Minister visiting the home state of Manipur, and that there is some kind of peace that is there on the ground, and that is something that has become a welcome point as well. Ms. Oke apprised the Home Minister of the present security situation in the state, and that Raj Bhavan had also said in a tweet about what else was in fact planning out with regards to that meet. Meanwhile, Kuki groups said that they would not accept any outreach of Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh as they accuse him of perpetrating the violence against them. So there is a huge trust deficit that we are facing when it comes to the issue about both the partners coming onto that panel to speak. So that is also something of a big concern. So here, earlier, they had rejected a peace committee chaired by the governor, as it also had included Biren Singh. And on June 25th, Singh met Home Minister in Delhi. He was advised to reach out to all stakeholders. Now, Amit Shah is telling Biren Singh that you have to meet out, you have to go and speak to all the stakeholders, you have to ensure that the cookies are also on the peace panel. But that is not the situation that is welcoming them at right now. You have so many issues that are coming up when the peace panel is being set up as well. Let's in fact listen into what Ibobi Singh had to say when it comes to the Manipur situation.
10 political party representatives, even his own party ministers, MLAs also, he is not yet met. Sometimes, yesterday also, in our national level, political party leaders, chaired by Honorable Home Minister, that is also I mentioned. And before also what we are speaking, we said that, even yesterday in the meeting also I said that, what we are expressing, our views, our comments, what we say, it is exactly what the people, or what they feel, and this is their voice. Whether Manipur is a part of this vast country or not, whether this Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji is the Prime Minister of India, excluding Manipur or not. So let us know whether Manipur belongs to this vast country or not. Even that is also what we feel. This is what we mentioned in our meetings. And I don't know nothing, just I watched yesterday's meeting. Other our colleagues, honorable MPs, both from left party, CPIM, and JDU also, honorable MP is on the dais. He is strongly pressurized to the government of India, particularly to the honorable Home Minister. And it is just in the conclusion, just I watched. They didn't say anything, they didn't take any resolution. Even from our colleague, TMC MP, Shri Oberoi, when she suggested about a all political party delegation team wanted to visit Manipur and see what is the situation is there. That is also.
Well, that is a talk on the probable visit and also the situation where other opposition parties also need to speak up from Ibobi Singh. And there was also a circular that we were in fact speaking about. Remember that circular which said that no work, no pay circular that was issued by the Manipur government, which technically forces 1 lakh state employees, the state government employees, to come back to work. Now, when it comes to this a lot of people have said that it is a dangerous situation for them. There are people who've been posted in government service, and they have been posted in the hills when their origins are from the valley, and those who have been in the valley whose origins are in the hills are also quite scared to return to work. But this particular circular that has been sent out saying no work, no pay has been quite affecting a lot of these communities, and now there's a reaction to this. Who's reacting to it? According to Hindu, this is what is being said, that the circular has been opposed. The Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum opposed the June 26 no work, no pay circular issued by the Manipur government. This order, which demands the attendance of the government employees of their place posting, it's unrealistic, insensitive and malified, is what they have said. The forum said that the tribal communities, which constitute a portion of the state government's workforce, has been subjected to inhumane treatment in the Imphal Valley since May 3rd, and homes, properties, personal documents and belongings were looted and burnt, leaving them without any means to return to work for their residents. They urged the union government to withdraw the order. So there is a huge pressure right from the state government employees themselves, who've been given the circular, that they don't want to report to work because of the kind of possibility of that violence. Many of them have also raised that issue. Well, joining me on the show is Pankaj Mishra, my colleague, who has also been going through the papers. And Pankaj, when we come to Manipur, I mean, two very important developments that have happened. Rahul Gandhi to visit Manipur. My question is that Manipur has been burning. It took a long time for the union government also to address the issue. And now it seems that probably from May 3rd, and today is June 29th, let's see, it's going to be almost 2 months. It takes 2 months for a leader of another political party to actually visit Manipur. So it looks like Ibobi Singh was that, is Manipur part of India or not? The question is, we should be asking all the political parties in this country, is Manipur part of India or not? Because all of you all have woken up late to what is happening in Manipur. Your comments on it, Pankaj?
Well, definitely, Varghese, Ibobi Singh, or for that matter, Congress, have been, there was a delegation that was formed earlier to attend to the Manipur crisis by the Congress, and Ibobi Singh was part of that. It was a 7 or 8 member delegation. But Rahul Gandhi, obviously, being the face of the Congress as of now, has taken heed of it and is heading to Manipur. That's what the plan says. Yes, it raises a lot of questions. If you have to point finger at the government, especially of the BJP, then obviously you also need to be steer clear of any doubt or aspersion whether you are interested or you are committed to the state's cause or not. Rahul Gandhi obviously, had earlier also faced a flack, I would say, when he did this Bharat Jodo Yatra from November of last year till January of this year. And he was also, in a way accused of negating Northeast. He did not cover Northeast. He started from Kanyakumari and then went up to Srinagar from the southern and central part of the country. Now, having said that, why I think it is still worthy of a shot is the fact that now, as of now, the government is on a back foot as far as Manipur is concerned. And both the chief minister of Manipur and the central government are facing the heat on how to control the situation, how to douse the fire that is there. Now, Rahul Gandhi has of late shown by way of either social media or his constant communion with the grassroots level society, where he's seen riding a truck, taking a truck from Delhi to Chandigarh. For that matter, yesterday only pictures surfaced of him working at a mechanic shop and fixing a motorbike. So all those aspects have made him closer as of now in the people's side to the masses. And his visit to Manipur obviously comes as the last resort that Congress could go to, and using him and sending him to Manipur would only complicate matters for the BJP, because till now they haven't had a handle on the situation, and the armed forces too are facing a difficult time in a way to restore peace and normalcy there. So yes, I mean, Congress at this point of time sending Rahul Gandhi was the best option. Too little, too late. If that is what the scenario appears to be, well, then I would say that the first finger that will be pointed at will be at the ruling dispensation and at the center, because it is already facing a flag that when Manipur was burning, the top leaders of BJP were actually canvassing for the Karnataka elections, and that's what, on the backdrop of it, the rest of the plot has been made. Varghese.
Well, the rest of the plot has been also this big question that we talk about. The other story that has been taken is about Biren Singh's presence within, the committee, the outreach programs that he's making. The cookies have groups, especially the cookie groups, have rejected CM's outreach bid completely. So that is something also worrisome, because when we look at how the situation has been, there have been many forums that they've tried to ensure that there is some kind of a talk taking place, but I don't think so there is any sort of trust that is left when Biren Singh is on that panel, because most of the cookies saying that they blame him, that he's allegedly responsible for the violence that was perpetrated. So no matter the panels that have been announced by the governor or the center, with Biren Singh being there, it seems that the biggest issue that stops cookies from being on that panel.
His name has been a cause of concern as far as the Kuki community is concerned, and time and again he has mentioned, as Kuki militants, he has been heard saying. So that also hasn't gone down well, not gone down well with the communities in Manipur. And Biren Singh, obviously being the leader of the state, is the onus, the responsibility stays with him to maintain law and order, to maintain peace. But when the situation spiraled out of control, then only first the Home Minister paid a visit to Manipur, and later on Biren Singh also came down to Delhi. And this is not the first time, obviously, he has come here twice or thrice to apprise the Home Minister of the current situation. But yes, as far as the government is concerned, led by Biren Singh in Manipur, they have been facing constant flack, and the lopsided approach, allegedly what it is being called, that the government is not, unbiased as of now. That is something that sentiment is also fanning the fire. And time and again, we have seen how the matters have been taken in their own hands, and both the Kuki and Meitei community are training their guns at each other, leaving the state leadership in limbo and almost non-existential as far as Biren Singh is concerned. The talks of removal of Biren Singh, a new chief minister, the talks of a separate administration, all of them have been emanating from the fact that the people have been losing faith in the state governance there. And for Biren Singh, a tightrope walk indeed. There have been charges and allegations of, deliberate burning of the churches, the issues that have emanated as of now in Manipur. There are certain voices which would say that they were ignored initially, not proper action was taken to nip the situation in the bud itself. And all those political charges and, allegations and counter allegations, the fact remains that Manipur, slowly but surely, started to disintegrate from May 3. And today, the situation what we are right now, even the security forces are finding it difficult, if not impossible task, to actually bring peace and restore normalcy in the region.
Well, before we in fact move to the rest of the stories, one last question that we should ask ourselves is this, I think, Pankaj: is Manipur part of India or not? We cannot keep denying it. We are the only channel that kept on, focusing on Manipur, and the rest of them actually followed it. We keep discussing Manipur in our morning meetings. We keep having special shows. Today there is a special show at 4 o'clock, is what I understand from there. So you can tune into that special show as well on Manipur. We are constantly focused on Manipur to ensure that there is peace. There are all sides of the matter. For us, Manipur is a part of India. When Manipur burns, it is a pain for the rest of India as well. But Pankaj, let's now in fact move on to Another big story that's shaping in Delhi. The CAG to audit reconstruction expenses on CM's residence. This is the story that they have put out. I'm reading it from the Hindustan Times. Okay, this is what it is being said. The Comptroller and Auditor General CAG of India will conduct a special audit into alleged administrative and financial irregularities in the reconstruction of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's official residence in civil lines. Officials in the Lieutenant Governor's office has said. Delhi Lieutenant Governor LGVK Saxena on May 24th wrote to the Union Ministry of Home Affairs pointing out alleged irregularities in reconstruction of the CM's official residence. MHA has recommended a special CAG audit taking note of LG's letter, which has flagged irregularities, added the officials who asked not to be named. The LG claimed that there were gross and prima facie financial irregularities in the reconstruction of that. So what do you think, Pankaj? I mean, this is an interesting story. It's been covered by most of the papers as well. There are several of them pointing out that this is another front in the war between the LG as well as the Chief Minister, especially over what is happening in Delhi. Now, this pertains to his official residence and, the renovation that was carried out to it. We have seen about stories about expensive curtains and whatnot. But the fact remains is that now there is an official audit that is going to be carried out on this. Political, or what do you think about it?
Well, irrespective of the development, Varghese, sooner or later this was going to happen, because if you look at the aspects where the Aam Aadmi Party government finds itself on sticky wicket, is day by day increasing. First, it was the Delhi liquor policy that found the government on the spot. Then, obviously, the arrest of Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia following the case. And then this audit and the brouhaha over the expenses at the Chief Minister's official residence. Why this is important? Because of two reasons. First, that Aam Aadmi Party has been claiming and has been projecting itself as Kattar Imandar Party, which in a way takes a swipe at both Congress and the BJP, more so on Congress. Secondly, the love-hate relationship between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, obviously because of political lines, is well known. And the BJP...
Pankaj, I like the way when you say it's a love with a lot of letters in between, by the way. Via the LG's office, by the way.
Because, see, I mean, Aam Aadmi Party also tries to ride on the same factors of what BJP is. The BJP, not in as many words, hasn't been saying कि वो कट्टर ईमानदार पार्टी हैं, लेकिन we have seen time and again how Arvind Kejriwal has been replicating what Prime Minister Modi has been trying to achieve or trying to project at least. And no draft charges against any member of his cabinet or the government. That is what the BJP as of now stands for, and so does Aam Aadmi Party too. So, but yes, as far as the quest for Delhi, the quest for Punjab, the quest for Goa was concerned, we saw these two parties head on, and that's why as far as the tussle between BJP and Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, that has been ongoing. And yes, Lieutenant Governor, as we know that he is the government appointed face to run Delhi. That's why the whole tussle is about the control of Delhi, whether the Chief Minister's office should get the control except for the law and order situation. All those things, the ordinance factor is also very much at play. So this, particularly coming back to the CAG audit of the renovations made at Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence, obviously, it will find some takers also. There could be some findings also. There has never been a denial that those curtains, those tiles, those woodwork wasn't done, or they were not of that value that media has been reporting, that has been found out. Yes, it has been there. Whether it was on the Chief Minister's personal choice, whether it was to elevate the gravity and the gravitas of the chief minister's residence. Because remember, it's not a private residence; it's a government residence. So yes, I mean the CAG would be looking into it, and Arvind Kejriwal obviously will have to defend it definitely, and we'll have to wait and watch what comes out in the report. CAG report also obviously discusses the money aspect mostly
Yes,
in the
that is the,
audit.
when you said the
So
money
that's what we
aspect of
say.
it, sorry, Pankaj, just stop you. When you talk about the money aspect of it, there's an interesting report on it in the Hindu. The Delhi
Hmm.
BJP had earlier alleged that 45 crore was spent in renovating the CM's official residence. And while the BJP said documents show approximately 45 crore was spent, including 11.30 crores on plush interior decorations and 1 crore just on curtains. AAP has said that the amount spent was 30 crores and that the PWD had recommended the construction of a new house. Now, despite all this, what does they talk about the deviation is what they're saying. Now, Raj Niwas officials have said that two factual reports were submitted to the LG, one on April 27th and the other on May 12th by the Chief Secretary detailing deviations and violations of the rules and regulations. And in this, it is being said that around the first estimate, I think, as per the May 12th report prepared by the Directorate of Vigilance, 52.71 crore was spent on the CM's residence, 33.49 crore on the CM's house, and 19.22 crore on building a camp office. Sharing details of the report, the LG House officially said that in the name of renovation, addition, alternation, and other things, the initial cost of the construction work was 15 to 20 crores. However, the same was inflated from time to time. Now, that is what the report says, that there was an actual estimate, and then after that, they kept inflating the numbers, I mean, the amount as such. So, from 15 to 20 crores, now they are saying that it's close to what the BJP claims 45 crores, but then the Director of Vigilance says that 57.71 crores was spent on the CM's residence. So, huge inflated bill is what they are claiming that was spent on a chief minister's residence. Well, I'll be interested to find out how much of money was spent in most of the chief minister's residence, especially when it came to renovation work. There are chief ministers who believe in Vastu and astrology, and some of them are known to have even broken, the walls of old bungalows to make sure that it is Vastu compliant, and also build walls. And this is the kind of renovation work that kept on going in most of them. Hope we could, in fact, get some kind of an idea into it as well, Pankaj.
Well, yeah, I can clearly see your reference towards down south in Telangana, and yes, we have had those incidents. So politicians, obviously, for all good reasons, I would say, Varghese, even when we are heading for an entrance examination or a big result is to be out, tend to become, at least I do so, tend to become a little, some sort of doubt, so that there is no doubt. We tend to do certain things, either go to a temple or offer prayers, or try and appease the gods. All those things, obviously, we have seen. But as far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, I don't think it was on the lines of actually any superstition or some sort of appeasement. But yes, the money aspect for a party that claims to be Kattar Imandar has tried to account for the public money. This time around, these big ticket expenses that have happened, how to justify them, where did this money come from, whose money was it, all those things would be taken into account. And as far as the inflation is concerned, yes, there could be more to it than what meets the eye, because you never know how the amount was inflated, whether it was the delay that was happening because the work that could have been done for, say, 10 crore rupees later on became 15 or 20 crore rupees. That kind of inflation, we haven't seen 50% rise. But what is there? Doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani tabhi hoga, when CAG report obviously could be, a booster for Aam Aadmi Party also, and the price, the figures might come down.
Well, another very important story that is coming up is with regards to Mamata Banerjee. Now, Mamata Banerjee, as you know, Pankaj, has been campaigning for the local body polls. It is being said that she has met with an accident because of a hard landing of there's been a hard landing that has been reported from the helicopter that she was traveling in, and there are reports that she's been injured in the leg, as well as unconfirmed reports also that there's injuries to the waist as well. But what led to that is something that is interesting enough to be seen, because one of the big questions that are being asked is Mamata Banerjee is actually campaigning on the ground when it comes to the local body polls, and these injuries, in fact, also is worrisome to some TMC leaders, because if it does put her out of action, because this is supposed to be the base in which they were trying to push for 2024. So, Pankaj, injuries to Mamata Banerjee become a worry for TMC as such, and it was a hard landing that happened on the ground. Those are the visuals coming in, Mamata being taken to the hospital, and she is being, in fact, there you can see Mamata Banerjee, in fact, saying that she suffered injuries to her leg. Well, a strong woman indeed. She's not, in fact, she's in fact speaking to those authorities at the hospital area, and having an interaction with them, and also moving in. Pankaj, an election, injuries, well, it looks like it is cut out for the TMC right now.
Well, yeah, it is cut out for the TMC. And if, talking about the trends and superstitions that we were talking about earlier, if this is something to go by, Varghese, let me jog the memory of our viewers a little back. In 2021, 2022, when the West Bengal elections happened, Mamata Banerjee had suffered a fall from the car, and she had broken her leg. So during the assembly elections, right from the days of campaigning, she was wheelchair ridden. And the result, she defeated BJP, she defeated the left, and emerged victorious. So that's Mamata for you. Secondly, Mamata Banerjee was why she made headlines and how did she shoot to fame and to public life, was one agitation back in 90s, when she was protesting against the left government, and the police baton charge, police lathi charge. She was injured, and her skull was broken. That's Mamata Banerjee for you. And this time around, this unfortunate rough landing by a chopper, with which she has been injured, I think would only add more firepower, more vigor to not just Mamata Banerjee, but to the TMC also, because she is a leader. Come what may, we have to give it to her. She is a leader who leads from the front. Very simple, doesn't carry that much of aura around, whether that she is the chief minister. She knows the kind of people she is attending to. She knows it's the grassroots level politics and panchayat elections. And that's why she is there without much paraphernalia, and is always seen as one of the many faces of the common people. And hence, I guess that's what works for Mamata Banerjee. At least twice it has. As far as the immediate effect on the elections is concerned, I think Mamata Banerjee has to fight a battle on a different ground, where she is demanding forces, additional forces, security forces, for the smooth conduct of the elections, which is stuck as of now. And she has to justify why does she need those extra security forces. That is one aspect. West Bengal elections, as we all know, have always been quite hectic, and the kind of violence that is seen at times, it is unprecedented. A little bit, I would say, there has been a downfall, but post-poll violence is also something that one has to deal with. And West Bengal of late has been developing this tendency. When the elections happen, when the paramilitary forces, central forces go back, then the post-poll violence becomes an issue. And that is what is being looked at as of now. But yes, we all wish Mamata Banerjee, our favorite Didi, as she is called, all the very best and smooth and fast recovery, so that she hits the ground running once again.
Well, just to add to you, I have that Hindu's article. They have, in fact, mentioned the kind of injury she suffered. It is being said that she suffered a ligament injury to her left knee and hip joint. This is what is being given out as a statement regarding her injuries by Manimoy Bandopathyay, a director of SSKM Hospital, where she was taken after this hard landing. This hard landing happened at the Sivoke Air Base near Siliguri. The chief minister was in North Bengal to campaign for the panchayat elections. So, as I was telling, it was a big, a big campaign that was going on, especially for the local polls, and therefore this injury has happened that time. Governor C.V. Ananda spoke to Ms. Banerjee over the phone and said that he was relieved that the chief minister was in fact safe. So that's the story when it comes to Mamata Banerjee's whirlwind campaign that was happening for this panchayat elections, Pankaj. And of course, let us go to one more story that's coming in. It's about IIT Bombay being in the top list of 150 universities, and I think a lot of alumni is going to be very happy about seeing that university there, IIT Bombay. And it's also one of the most trending topics on the online world. It's also and some of the things that has been mentioned over here is that it breaks into top 150 in QS World Ranking 8 years after IIC made it first. So of course, the first, the father of all tech universities in India, it's been considered. But again, IIT Bombay has made the remarkable leap, climbing 23 positions to secure the 149th rank globally in this year's edition of the rankings. So IIT, is a place, is considered to be the place where India's finest, in fact, rides, is rigorously trained, and also a lot of success stories coming in from the IITs. Recently, a lot of American, businessmen and tech entrepreneurs were talking about IITs in a big way. They were, in fact, saying that the recruits that they've got from IIT are the ones who run their companies. And there's a reason for it, because they think out of the box. And interestingly, there was the social media clip about one of those tech innovators and a businessman who came and said why IIT students are the ones that need to be recruited to American firms. And this is what he said: they have a hunger in their eyes to see what the next future should be. They have hunger for ideation. They want to implement. So it looks like with all that and a lot of positivities, IIT Bombay is now on the top list.
Yes, definitely, Varghese. And it's a matter of joy, I would say, because see, the ranking that has been prominently discussed in many of the newspapers, Indian publications, obviously shows the rankings here. And it mentions IIT Bombay as one of the topmost Indian institutions who have figured in the QS ranking. The Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, in Mumbai has achieved its highest rank ever, breaking into the world's top 150 universities in the latest edition of the QS World University Ranking, released on Tuesday night. Now, QS World Ranking, obviously, it's the measure that we are looking at is on a global level. On 149th rank is IIT Bombay, and 197, which is beyond the top 150 list, is IIT Delhi, and rest of the IITs and Anna University follow after that. See, India, as far as the tech understanding, the tech revolution is concerned, be it in terms of academics or be it in terms of R&D, one of the reasons why India is being called as one of the fastest growing economies is not just because the trade volumes is increasing or just because of that. It's also because of the fact that India is investing more and more in R&D. Institutions like IIT, they not only cater to the undergraduate engineers, undergraduate IITs, but also have a master's course, have also got PhD degrees, courses, and each individual who is working on a particular project, funding of that particular project is something, we have seen. Remember that movie, Three Idiots, where there was a student who was making a drone with a camera. When this movie had come, obviously drones were, not very in vogue. That they had just arrived, and using a camera on the drone was something that was projected. That thinking process, that R&D part, to think out of the box and come up with something which is very new, which is very nascent and has not done before. So that part is there. And we all know that IIT, the kind of only a minuscule percentage of India's best make the cut into IIT. But for a country like India, it is very important to have institutions of higher learning like this, because that is also the cause of a brain drain. Once the person who has graduated from an IIT or an say state engineering colleges, for higher studies, they more often than not they head overseas, and most of the universities either in United States, either in China for that matter, students are forced to go there, albeit on scholarship or without it, but people go there, and then they invariably don't come back as well. So, talking about brain drain, which is a bigger issue, and now here IIT Bombay making it to the first top 150 best universities in the world are interconnected. We have to build on that. We have to capitulate on the kind of resources we have, and if we are getting 1 or 2% of the best 10% of the minds into the IITs, then we should also be allocating 10%, 5% of the total GDP expenditure to the IITs, to these institutions of higher learning, so that the talent stays in the country. And later on, obviously, 20 years down the line, 10 years down the line, these graduates, these PhD scholars become professors, become scientists, and then the overall development happens. So yes, I would say it's a red letter day for the higher education institutions in India. And obviously, that's the QS ranking, but I would say that all the IITs, very premier institutions, so are the IIMs. And yes, for all the students out there, it's best of luck, those who are aspiring to be IITians. That's the way to go also, many would say. And yes, this is how the wheels of progress continue. Varghese.
Well, okay, it looks like IITB, congratulations to IITB for making it to that list. And of course, let us in fact move on to some of the international stories. Right from our neighborhood, Pankaj, we have an interesting story that is coming in. Pakistan passes law limiting disqualification term. What it says is that it may pave the way for Nawaz's return. That is what the story is all about. It says that Nawaz Sharif could return because they made that change in that law. Pakistan's National Assembly has passed legislation limiting how long lawmakers can be disqualified from office. A state spokesperson said on Tuesday, paving the way for exiled former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif returning to politics. Sharif served as Pakistan's Prime Minister 3 times, the last before being ousted over graft allegations in 2017. The Supreme Court barred him from politics for life and was later sentenced to 7 years in jail. In 2019, he was granted medical bail and flew to Britain, where he has remained ever since, continuing to steer the family-run PMLN party from behind the scenes. Another small interesting tidbit is also there. It's covered by the Times of India. Nawaz Zardari meet in UAE to talk polls. Now, former Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and former President Aziz Ali Zardari has reportedly met in the UAE to consult and decide on the timing of the next general elections in the country and the respective share in the future setup. This is what a media report has said. So a lot of stuff is churning in Pakistan, especially when it comes to its politics. We had Imran being ousted, and then we have Sharif being brought in. Now, this particular law that the parliament there or their senator has passed, interestingly tries to limit the possibility of being banned for life. Now, that's what the Supreme Court there had taken with stance against Sharif, but it looks like it's paving the way for his return to politics, active politics in Pakistan. So, some semblance of democracy in that country, isn't it, Pankaj?
Yes, Varghese,
Some
obviously,
semblance.
when elections are due in Pakistan shortly, maybe in October or November, we would see elections happening there. And we also know that Nawaz Sharif's brother, Shahbaz Sharif, is the prime minister there as of now. So it is only, on expected lines that he would be passing or he would be trying to reduce the disqualification term for a safe return of Nawaz Sharif. And also, this is not just what is happening in Pakistan. In UAE, Nawaz Sharif and Zardari had met and they discussed the electoral possibilities. Remember, Asif Ali Zardari, obviously the head of the PPP and the coalition partner of PMLN, Nawaz. That's how the ruling party is in Pakistan as of now. So this Nawaz Sharif is lucky in a way that he has a brother in office. 10 years down the line, if I may, tend to see forwards, whether this same thing would be accorded to former Prime Minister Imran Khan or not, that remains to be seen, although he is in the country as of now. But many skeptics would say that ultimately he would also flee the country. He will have to leave the country. Pressure is being mounted on him. He got some reprieve from the Supreme Court on his arrest, though. But looks like the Nawaz Shahbaz Sharif government is not letting that matter go. So politically speaking, yes, this is on expected lines, the reduction of disqualification term. Nawaz Sharif, obviously on money laundering charges, was debarred. And once he had returned to the country in 2018, he was arrested. But on health grounds later, he was allowed to fly back to London, where he has been staying since then. And as far as the internal politics is concerned, Times of India has been has very tacitly placed another news. Pak Prime Minister speaks to IMF MD again, hopes for loan nod in days. Now, Pakistan has been struggling economically also, and it has been making certain changes in its budgetary allocations also to accommodate the loans that it will be getting from the IMF. And they are once again out in the open asking for more and more money from the Indian Monetary Fund. This scenario, non-politically, is very risky for Pakistan. And while the government might be celebrating the early return of Nawaz Sharif to the homeland, but to the country he would return to could be very soon in tatters.
Well, I would take a fast on our, we don't have much time, but there is, of course, what's happening in Russia. Putin praises Russian armed forces for averting a civil war. His praise, in fact, appeared at odds with the ease with which Wagner mercenaries crossed 780 kilometers, Pankaj. 780 kilometers of Russia's territory over 24 hours. So Russian President Vladimir Putin had chaired a meeting with the heads of the law enforcement agencies in Moscow yesterday, and he, in fact, told the armed forces that it is because of them that they were able to, avert this civil war. Meanwhile, there are reports saying that Wagner chief Precaution has moved into Belarus. Some say that he's landed over there, some say he's on his way there, but of course, a lot of things coming out on that front. It said that this is what Putin told his Russian military. You, in fact, prevented a civil war. Putin told 2,500 troops assembled at a televised Kremlin ceremony on Tuesday. It is a difficult situation. You acted clearly and coherently. So the president of Russia asserting himself, a very sticky situation, he's been able to wriggle out of it, and asserting himself that he's in control in Moscow. Pankaj.
Well, the debate is out in the open, Varghese, whether Putin is in control or not. But so far, it might be early. Just 22 hours or so have passed after the successful clamping down on the coup. But for Vladimir Putin, the immediacy of this factor is not so important. The blowback is far more relevant, and how it comes and when it comes is the point. He has managed to quell the coup. Yevgeny Prigozhin is in Belarus, as we have heard, as per reports, and its 25,000 troops are also placated, and they don't pose any harm as of now. But the rebel within the ranks, that is something that Putin needs to be wary of. And if there are more voices against him like this, it could be possible that a change at the helm could be inevitable. And that is what Putin would be ensuring as of now, because the fight on the frontier against Ukraine is ongoing. And both sides are claiming that they have the upper hand. But yes, this conditional war for not encroaching upon the territory, either residential or, for that matter, industrial. That war is more on the lines of gaining more ground, as it would be. But for Putin, obviously, the loss of face that came with this short-lived coup is something that he would ensure that doesn't happen again. And how does he do it? Maybe, well, Prigozhin would be, awaiting his fate as of now, because we have seen how the Russian way it works. I mean, time and again we have heard about all those poisonings and the killings, the suspicious deaths. All those things also come as a reminder to what happens to those who rebel, if I may say so, in Russia.
Well, thank you, Pankaj, for in fact joining us. And before we leave you, I just got one more news to put in. It's the last Chinese reporter has left India after visa extension was denied. It was, the last Indian reporter who had, last time when we had come, had said that the Indian reporter had also left Chinese shows. And it looks like now, well, there are no journalists from both the countries in each other's country. And probably this is a sign of the worsening relationship between India as well as China when they decided to ensure that they eject each other's journalists from their soil. Sad day for journalism, but of course, we keep you posted on what it is when it comes to the newspapers in the morning. Also, Manipur show at 4 p.m. today. Keep tuned and please watch News 9 as we bring you further programs on the other side.
मैं इमरान अहमद खान न्याजी सबके दिल से हल्फ उठाता हूँ.
When Imran Khan came initially into politics, he thought his personal popularity would be sufficient for him. It didn't happen.
The retired military generals are openly saying that Imran Khan is a better choice.
Imran Khan may have bitten a bit too much, more than what he can chew.
Implosion. This and more. Streaming on world's first news OTT. News 9 Plus. Download now.
मैं तो चलिया विदेश.
No, it's not a story of diversity in India. It's about a burning desire to leave the country, whatever it takes.
जो मिट्टी वाला जो टंकी है ना जे इंग्लैंड में है सभी और कनाडा में भी है जी सभी फैमिली. साथ वाली बाइट में है वो इंग्लैंड में है अभी. कि वो जो बाज बैठा हो ना जहाँ ईगल, वो लड़का डिपोर्ट होकर आया ऐसे अब 20 साल बाद.
They polish their English and sometimes adapt a British or American twang.
जासू, bonjour, bonjour, hola.
My name is Surina. I want to go to apply for Australia.
To earn enough for a luxurious life.
बाजी मैं तो चलिया कनाडा.
But this dream comes at a price. Often dreamers end up paying for it with their lives.
Whenever anything happens, right, there will be very dark underbelly of it.
You're aware of these donkey routes and donkers where people are getting money, selling their lands, putting things in mortgage in India and giving it to people who are acting as middlemen and consultants to ship them to various countries.
the number has increased a lot, a lot. If I see a data from the government sources, 3,000 plus was in 2016 only for USA. We jumped to 16,000, 4 times more than that in the last year, into 2020, you can say.
News 9 Plus. Download now.
He thought he could outlast us. And 1 year later, the evidence is right here in this room.
Who will blink first?
So far from preventing the expansion of NATO, Russian actions have actually resulted in the expansion of NATO.
It's a mess for Russia and it's a mess for the Western world, for NATO and the United States.
Putin is a dictator, and if he loses, that means the end of his regime, and probably of him personally. So he has to keep going.
Year 2. No end in sight. Streaming now. Europe's deadliest war since 1945.
बाहर सायरन्स बजने लग गए थे.
Citizens homeless in their own country.
वो लिटरली हमको धक्का मार के बाहर फेंक रहे थे कि तुम लोग अलाउड नहीं हो.
22,500 Indian students in the line of fire.
डर हर सेकंड बना रहता था. नॉर्मली एक इंसान अगर उठता है तो अलार्म से उठता है. हमारा अलार्म तो था ही बॉम्ब.
India steps in with an air bridge.
After the military operations began on the 24th of February, there was a crisis management summit level group personally headed by the Prime Minister, and within a day of the military operation starting, the first of the evacuation flights had actually already started.
No Indian left behind.
बहुत गर्व हुआ मैं भारत में अपने. वो भी चाह के पाकिस्तान के जो बच्चे के वो कह रहे कि काश हमारा प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी होता.
Welcome back to the motherland.
Watch Airlift, the inside story of Operation Ganga on News 9 Plus for the Genflix.
Hello and welcome to this News 9 special. This morning we in fact discuss what are the big stories in the newspapers. Again, when we say that, it is not to judge any newspaper but to give you a concrete picture and also a complete picture of what are the stories that have been covered by the newspapers of the day. And as I was looking into some of these newspapers, there are quite interesting stories that have come in. Rahul Gandhi is in fact planning to go ahead and make a visit to Manipur, and there are issues also being raised on that. Meanwhile, West Bengal, the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has in fact suffered injuries because of a rough landing. And of course, when it comes to Manipur itself, staying with them, it is being said that the cookies have rejected any sort of an outreach by Biren Singh, and that is also coming to light. There are other stories as well, especially when it comes to the Russian president thanking his military for avoiding a bloodshed, is what he claims. And of course, the Wagner chief is headed towards Belarus, and some reports say that he's already in Belarus. So with all this power-packed morning stories, I think we will be able to go ahead and start our discussions on how it is important to see the whole country, especially, and how to see this particular newspaper special program that we get to you on the basis of the coverage as well as with interesting insights from all of them. So the first thing that we in fact try to look at is Rahul Gandhi is in fact planning to visit Manipur, and interestingly when it comes to Manipur there is also a very big story. There has been stories of how Biren Singh, the Chief Minister of Manipur, has been trying to ensure that he reaches out to the cookies, but right now it is being said that there is a complete kind of a cold shouldering that is happening on the part of the cookies, and saying that they will not go for any of those kinds of outreach programs as such. Interestingly enough, we are also trying to understand as to whether the peace committee that was initially formed will in fact kickstart, but it seems to be a complete non-starter, with all of them having a lot of reservations on it. Well, this is the story that I would in fact take up. Rahul to visit relief camps, meet with civil society in Manipur. The Hindu has in fact taken up that story, and what it says is that former Congress chief Rahul Gandhi will be visiting violence-torn Manipur on June 29th and 30th. The Congress announced on Tuesday, and that this was tweeted by KC Venugopal in his particular tweet that he had posted yesterday, and he said that the visit will be to also interact with the civil society representatives in Imphal and Chuchandpur district as well. Now, Manipur has been burning for nearly 2 months and desperately needs a healing touch to that society can move from conflict to peace, is what is being said. So Rahul Gandhi there planning to have a visit to Manipur, and we are in fact also tracking that story on 29th and 30th as he in fact even meets the inmates of the relief camps in Manipur. Well, the Congress has been questioning Prime Minister Narendra Modi's silence on the violence in Manipur on June 24th, when Home Minister Amit Shah had convened a meeting of all parties in Delhi. Gandhi had tweeted questioning the government's seriousness on the issue. Now, there's also the question of politics that has come in regard to this, and interestingly enough, an all-party meeting that was called by the Prime Minister is not in the country. It is clear this meeting is not important for the Prime Minister, is what Gandhi had tweeted that day. So it's an interesting article that's coming in on Rahul Gandhi's visit to Manipur, and it is a big meeting as well, and a big development. The question being asked is that why, when the violence was in fact being raging from May 3rd onwards, no kind of an effort was in fact being carried out when it comes to this. Okay. And one of the things that we have come to also highlight when it comes to Manipur, especially on this, is that there were issues that were in fact reported by the army as well. The army had in fact said that there are issues when it comes to the handling of the situation in Manipur, especially with a large number of women's group who are in the process trying to release militants and also acting as human shields for the rioters as well. So this is a big challenge that the army has been facing in Manipur. But then within this cauldron, we have also politics at play. The question over here being asked also is that, well, the opposition leaders could have made it earlier to Manipur as well to gauge the ground situation. The violence started from May 3rd onwards. Mind you, it started from May 3rd onwards. And today we are talking about June 28th. And since June till June 28th, we have only Amit Shah, the Home Minister, in fact, visiting the region for 4 days and trying to broker peace. But it looks like things are not heading in the right manner, because no matter how much of efforts he's done, a lot of issues have cropped up. He tried to announce a 51 panel peace committee, but in there also there were people who were not being consulted, is what many of them who were nominated to that panel were saying. But peace was a non-starter in the beginning itself. Meanwhile, a lot of reservation is there when it comes to the issue of Biren Singh being part of this, and that has also been one of the issues that has been highlighted over here. Anyway, I was talking about the second story about Manipur, and as after Rahul Gandhi's visit to the story on the Rahul Gandhi's visit to the camps in Manipur. Interestingly enough, I think you should also take a look at this page where there's a story of Manipur governor meets Amit Shah, and in the big headlines that we see over here, we can see what it is written in this manner also. It is being said that Manipur governor meets Amit Shah, kuki groups rejects CM's outreach. Now, this is the big question that's been asked over here, is that if there is no possibility of some kind of a trust that can be built when it comes to the issue about getting both of them onto the table, it is going to become very difficult. So this is a big story coming in from Manipur, where Manipur governor meets Amit Shah, and you have the kuki groups reject CM's outreach, and besides this, you have Rahul to visit the relief camp, meet with the civil society members. Let me read out some excerpts of that particular story as well, and in fact we will get more insights into it. Manipur governor Anusuya Uke met Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Tuesday and informed him that after his visit to the state, peace and normalcy has been restored to a certain extent. So the governor in fact saying that there is some kind of an impact with the Home Minister visiting the home state of Manipur, and that there is some kind of peace that is there on the ground, and that is something that has become a welcome point as well. Ms. Oke apprised the Home Minister of the present security situation in the state, and that Raj Bhavan had also said in a tweet about what else was in fact planning out with regards to that meet. Meanwhile, Kuki groups said that they would not accept any outreach of Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, as they accuse him of perpetrating the violence against them. So there is a huge trust deficit that we are facing.